David Houston, I love this Pantera GTS. Tell us all about it.
Well, it's a 1974, the only year Pantera produced the GTS. In Europe, they had GTSs 72 on, but the American GTS was 1974. They made 98 of them, and this is one of them.
I love it, and I'll tell you what I love about it. Panteras can be a little bit plain Jane, like they're just white with the black interior, and if you don't touch them, they're a little plain Jane. And the problem is then guys start to touch them, and they don't just stop touching
overboard with the wings and the body kit.
Full-blown
too much
cavity search on
I remember
those
your
things.
quote, I like Panteras, I don't like Pantera owners.
I don't like what they do
I
to
said that about
Panteras.
Ferrari owners. I said about
But I do have to say that like I said, the base Pantera, unmolested, is a simple car. It's a nice car, but it is a little like, I want to see some flares. I want to see a two-tone hood. I want to see a cooler front bumper. And the thing that's great about this GTS is it has those little touches that make a car a sports car without all the crazy triple chrome, jet boat headers hanging out of the back of the thing.
Right.
How much work did you put into this, or did you buy it like this?
Well, I bought it off the original owner, Dr. Keevy out of Buffalo, New York. He owned it. He got old. I mean, I'm sort of old and it's hard to drive. I can imagine being really old and having to drive this thing. So he sold it. And it was a rust-free car. It was all the original stuff was there. And it's one of it's like what you talk about, Adam. Like you go into the shop, like, let's just clean everything up, and then you clean up one thing, and it's like doing your kitchen. You do your kitchen, then you got to do the bed. You got to do everything next to it. And it ended up being this 2-year, completely everything apart, then put it back together. So now it's completely restored. Not that it looks exactly like it did when I bought it, basically, but now I have 100,000 extra into it.
I don't know if this is all Panteras, but the chrome is blacked out.
That's a GTS thing.
The hood is a great sort of charcoal anthracite sort of color. It looks great. The fenders look great. Anyone who's a 510 fan recognizes, or Z fan loves some, I'm guessing, fiberglass.
Yep. With rivets.
With rivets,
which I love.
Which put on, and that are black. And interior, always love the Pantera interior, love the gauge clusters, love that. That's the gated shift. That's where the European part really kicks in. What's going on with the front bumper? Because that feels a little bit different.
So the original Panteras have this very, very beautiful little chrome bumper at here, which makes the car feel shorter, and it's just really tight. And then, of course, in '73, you got this ridiculous bumper. So,
but this looks good on this car.
Well,
I can't figure out
original,
if
it definitely works with this color combination. I think that's what makes it really kind of work.
But it just extends. The car's actually tighter than it looks because of this bumper, and the chrome ones that they had in '71 and '2 are just really nice. But this is the original, so you got to have it.
351 Cleveland in this.
Yes.
And it's got the 4-barrel on top.
Yeah.
And made you breathe on it a little bit.
Well, the only thing that's changed from when this thing rolled off the factory floor is I have an Edelbrock carburetor on it, because the factory carburetor, I sent it out, had it done, put it on, the car will not run with the original carburetor.
Sure was.
Off
kind
it comes.
of the way it was when it was.
Yeah, exactly. So off it comes, Edelbrock goes on, and now it runs.
I will say this about the Pantera, and I've always said it, and I remember the big quad 3-inch whatever hanging out the back. I remember like in the late 70s, like going, whoa, look at that. Because back then, even Porsche just had like the one little downspout, going off the side. Nobody had anything that looked worth a damn, but the Pantera, definitely the tip of the spear and the badass exhaust, right? Or maybe you give the Cobra 427 the first.
Well, this, in many ways, this car was really, state of the art. It was like the McLaren 12C of its time. So you have a monocoque body.
Right.
You've got independent suspension. You've got disc brakes all around. You've got a 5-speed transmission.
The
Remember,
CF
74,
transmission.
Yeah, which is out of the Ford GT before. It's the same one they put in the Ford GTs in the 60s.
Right.
So you've got a lot of these, what was cutting edge performance stuff at the time. So,
right. And mid-engine.
Had electric windows, which was a big deal. Think of a performance car in the early 70s with electric windows. None of them had
power windows. Those are for the rich.
Yeah.
You want to fire it up?
Let's fire it up.
Sure.
Let's take
if
a
it'll
look
start,
at
which is always questionable.
Well, with that carburetor, with that Edelbrock carb on there, I love this spare tire. You check this thing out.
Did that come with the car?
It's basically like a bunch of rubber bands around a rim.
Right. Well, seen a little smoke.
So close.
So close.
So close.
Okay, here we go.
There it is. Wow.
It's got a little rump to it at idle.
Yeah. And it looks like we have a tranny cooler back here, I'm
It's like
guessing.
every car show you go to, they don't put that back there at all, and everything's just polished out to
Right,
the T,
right.
and it's just too much. Like, you don't need to do all that. This is the way I think it should look. This looks amazing.
Yeah,
It
is.
sounds great, too.
And looks like you got some fresh air conditioning in here.
Yeah, you know, I
dryer
haven't
back there?
turned it on because the car runs hot. One of the big problems with Panteras
Sure.
is they overheat. So I never turn it on, and I'm trying to drive around in fifth gear all the time, move as fast. I mean, when I get trouble, you start panicking when you're in traffic. You're like, oh no,
Yeah.
it's going to do it. It's going to do it.
Keep going, keep going.
Please, for the love of God.
There's going to be a
move.
real traffic jam if you don't start
Yeah,
moving.
yeah.
But this is the way to do a Pantera, and this Pantera is just unique enough, and under 100 examples. This is a really, really nice example. But again, it's great because you can hydraulic clutch. I can see there. You can put it back to just how it was and be sporty enough without getting in with the Sawzall and doing all the hack stuff that all the guys do when we see them at the Ferrari shows. This car came in this color, which is called what?
It's this maroonish color. And it had the GTS.
Yeah.
This is really grabber. Really looks fantastic. All right, David Houston, I know you got some cool restaurants. Barney's Beanery is
Barney's
one of them.
Beanery.
You can get Mangria at Barney's Beanery,
right.
by
Oh,
the
yeah.
way. Is
We
there-
were one of the first, by the way. We were keeping the faith long before you got all these
That's
distributors.
right.
Before
Our first-
Canada came online and blew the whole place up.
Our first event ever was
Right,
was
right.
at Barney's Beanery.
That-
But how many Barney's Beaneries are there now?
There's 5. We're opening a 6th one in Redondo. But if you want to come by and get some OG Mangria, we're the place to do it.
That's right. The original kegs, the original oak charred
And,
kegs were sent out to
That's
Barney's
right.
Beanery.
Throw
So-
up the website as well.
Barney'sBeanery.com.
Excellent.
all right. So until next time, this is Adam Carolla for Matt the Motorator, DeAndrea, and David Houston saying, keep the air in the spare and the bag in the wheel.